This is a Looney Studios podcast. Hello and welcome to Aerde Talks. I'm Hunter Looney, the Game Master, and this show is here to give a deeper dive into the world of Aerde, which is traversed in Aerde Tales, and I'm joined today by Noah, who plays Salvazar, and Leah, who plays Gamore. Today we'll be discussing the latest episode of Aerde Tales and the calendar, history, and timeline of Aerde. How did Salvazar feel about sharing information with Gamore?
He felt like he didn't want to do it, but he had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just did it, and then it was over with.
Did he feel relief or still, scared of how she's going to react?
Scared.
Yeah. Okay.
But then after I reacted, did you feel relieved?
Well, you said, I'm going to have to think about all this.
Oh.
When you ended the conversation. So he's
True, I kind of left him hanging.
Yeah. So how did Gamore feel about all this stuff being added up? Alright, so he had the assassination job. He collected money for it even though he didn't do it. He has a letter about a meeting that he doesn't know anything about. How did Gamore feel about all this?
I think even though he said he didn't actually do it, she's still not sure at this point.
Mm. Yeah.
So, still, like I said last episode, still really hesitant about him, not fully trusting him yet, but maybe a little bit more since he did, bring forth some information, kind of willingly.
So, I know this that party happened off mic. It was your all's last episode y'all did off mic before we started recording. So, how does Leah feel about the fact that she was asked to leave the room during...
I hated it. I super hated it.
Because what I did was I asked you to leave the room when he left the room. And Noah and I played out that scene. And then asked you to come back after that happened.
Yeah.
And so...
It was the worst. I had no idea what was going on. Which I did not like.
Which is what I wanted. Alright, so if... And you don't know for sure. Gamore doesn't know for sure. But how do you think Gamore would feel if Salvazar had said, hey, I did the job. That's why I got paid.
I don't even know. It would have been interesting.
Because it's not like you all haven't taken some lives.
Well, yeah. But to get paid to kill someone is different than if someone's just... if you're doing it for self-defense, I guess.
What if Salvazar came to Gamore and said, I've got this job, and we're supposed to take out this one person?
I mean, I think I would have needed a lot more information.
This person's
why,
a bad
what
dude.
They were doing.
Salvazar just comes...
Who was paying him.
Alright, Salvazar. Give your best... Noah. Give your best Salvazar pitch to try to win her over that you have an assassination job.
Okay.
What would you say?
So this job has lots of money in it. It's just that I want to split the money with you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And the one thing is, to do this job, we have to kill a guy.
Yeah. Why? Who? Where? How? When?
This is made up. This is your pitch to her.
The party that we're going to, we're killing one of the candidates.
Uh-huh.
But there's lots of money involved.
Okay, I don't need you to tell me about the money. I need to know other details. You keep just talking about the money. I feel like this is how it would have went.
Yeah, what other details would you need?
Why? What is he doing that's bad?
I just got this. I didn't ask any questions.
Salazar wouldn't
I
even
would
try
have
to
been
deceive
like,
you.
I would have been like, how can you take this without knowing the reason?
Salazar wouldn't be like making up anything. Just be like, "This is what I know, and I'm in. Are you in?" That aligns with Salazar's character. That aligns with it.
Your friend assigned me this, and if you trust your friend, you
My
trust me.
Friend gave
Yeah.
this to you instead of involving me in
Yeah,
this.
your friend that runs the underground.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right.
All right. So, are you all happy to have Pac and Omi back in your group?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it didn't come across in the episode how happy you were to have Barnaby back, because you were like kind of like, "Hey, Barnaby," but then you like let Barnaby sleep in your bed and stuff like that. So, like, I don't think it audibly sounded as happy as you were to have Barnaby back. But Salazar also has a hard time conveying emotion. Sometimes.
True.
Which of the kids were your favorite? Do you remember the kid's name?
Amp.
Amp, the little drag, which is like a dragon-esque lizard person. Drage. I think Gamora really liked like the leader kid that was like stepping up. If I remember correctly. You don't remember which one. Okay. Do you have any questions for me about the world, about anything?
What kind of person sets up that situation with the orphans?
I will say, if anybody else is stressed out as right after we finished recording that episode, you were so angry that I would put kids in danger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is what these kids have, what's called plot armor on them. If you all didn't take the job and stuff, they would be fine. They would be rescued by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these kids have plot armor. They were in danger, but were like rescued. Like, everything's fine. It's mainly you all just finding them and getting them back. I don't want to ruin it, but like, these kids have plot armor, and I know you were stressed about it, so I didn't want to stress anybody else about it. These kids have plot armor.
Okay, you said plot armor like 10 times. I get it, but it's still...
Much like, unless you had Barnaby, hey, go fetch this stick in the lava, yeah, Barnaby gonna die then. But besides that, if you all don't do anything stupid with Barnaby, he's gonna be fine. Alright. Do y'all have any other questions? Nope. Alright. So let's talk about the calendar, history, and timeline of Aerde. This is stuff y'all would have your characters would have known just being in this world. Okay? So each day in Aerde is 24 hours, just like Earth. The amount of days that it takes Aerde to travel around its star is 360 days, though. Not 365 point blah, blah, blah. The calendar used by the people of Aerde is divided into 12 months with 6 days in each week and 30 days in each month. So it makes it nice and even and stuff. In the Northern Hemisphere, it works much like ours. Northern Hemisphere gets spring and summer and fall and winter in about the same way as Earth does. Southern Hemisphere, same way. It tilts just like Earth does. So let's talk about some events or festivals and stuff in the world that you all wouldn't normally have, like you all know occurs. I also assume Pac probably had told you all about these while y'all are riding, like him just talking on and on while y'all are like on horseback and stuff in your travels. So during the first month, this is like spring. There's a New Young festival that kind of centers around like new birth and stuff springing to life and everything. All right. In the second month, the first month is called Tupa, and then The second month is Fawns. It has the Alofa Festival, and it is on the 14th, so it's the second month, the 14th day, and it centers around love. It's kind of like Valentine's.
Wow. How about that?
So third month, Vaxa it has two things in it. So it has the Kepua Festival, which is like a flower festival, like where people have harvested some flowers and just celebrates like growth and everything like that. And then on the 30th, there's the Spring Games in Roxville, which has a bunch of like different variety of games to play there. Fourth month is Biro, which there's a chariot race in Bristles. And then on the 20th, there's the Fuma Juma Festival, surrounding like some herbs and stuff. Then the fifth month, the sixth day of that is, the fifth month is Wera, and the sixth day is the Favela Festival. And these are these are specific to this continent and maybe some of the bigger towns and ports and stuff on other continents but obviously if y'all travel to a whole nother continent and do stuff there, there's going to be a little bit of changes and stuff like that. A lot of the world was like under rule of one particular person for a while. So a lot of the holidays got kind of like, we're all doing these holidays. This is it.
Uh-huh.
All right, so the 6th month, and the 30th of the 6th month is the Zentrum Festival, which is the exact center of the year. And so they kind of celebrate being halfway through the year. There's an art festival in the Bidla month, which is the 7th month. The 6th month was called Wila, sorry. And it's called the Coast Duab Festival. There's a fall race in the 8th month, which the 8th month is called Haas. It's a chariot race again. All of these are things you all could go to in any of the towns, or you could go do a chariot race. Then there's a leaf festival called the Faglilia Festival. We're almost through all the months. The 9th month is called Puv, and it has a harvest festival. Obviously, it's fall. They're going to collect the harvest. It's the Isavuno Festival. There's also a fall games in Roxville. The 10th month is Bora. There's the Sir Jum Festival, which is like the Death Day. So it's kind of like Halloween, kind of not.
Mm.
And then the 11th month is Rio. It's the Mua Ebisca Festival, which is the middle of winter festival. It's like, we're halfway through the winter, let's keep it up. And then the last day of the year, in the 12th month, the Tio month, is the Zeron Festival, which is the finish of the year. It's kind of like New Year's Eve. All right. You all kind of like have partaken in some of these festivals when you're in specific towns, but
I forgot which month are we in, the first one?
you all arrived at the town on the first day of the second month. So 2-1. Year 200. And then you woke up this next day. The day you're on currently is 2-200. In the month of Fawns. So, there's like, you have festivals coming up that you could partake in or not. So here's the timeline of the continent and the surrounding areas. So you had the before Makia era, which lasted for pretty much all the way from the Stone Age and prehistory. That's like, it's pretty much like even before they were keeping up with track of stuff. Then this person took over the known world, and it's called the Malkia era, and like they ruled pretty much all of the earth. And since like magic exists and you could travel between continents by either flying or whatever and stuff. They ruled for 3,000 years.
One person?
Maybe? I don't want to ruin it. Alright, so you all have a -5 in history. This is how much you get. So pretty much for that 3,000 years...
Vampire.
Not necessarily.
No.
There's other ways to be immortal.
Other species that live that long?
So, for 3,000 years, one person or so ruled, and that was called the Malkia era. So that ended 200 years ago. Your friend Shay was in the final battles that freed the world from this individual or so. And that's really all I'm going to get into with you guys about that history, because you all have -5 to history, so you're going to have to actually talk to Shay about it, or somebody else, to learn any more things about it. So that brings us to the end of the episode of Aerde Talks. On the next episode, we'll dive deeper into the character of Gamore. So let's talk some housekeeping. Our adventurers encounter magical items, and I want to invite everyone to visit patreon.com/Looney Studios. The link is in the description. On the front page, there's a link to a Google form where everyone can submit an idea for a magical item. Anyone can do this. You don't have to be a patron. You can also do this anonymously or put your name or username on it to receive credit in case we use it. Please add to the list. This is one of Noah's favorite in-game activities, is getting new magical items. And while you are there, you can also check out Looney Studios' Patreon. If you become a patron, then you gain access to this podcast early, among many other perks. And speaking of Patreon, I would like to thank 2 of our patrons, Katrina and Renee. Thank you for supporting Looney Studios and Aerde Tales. Looney Studios can be found at looneystudios.com and at the social media platforms listed in the description. Please give a review on your favorite podcasting site, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and submit magical items on our Patreon. And the Looney family hopes that you have a wonderful day. That was a Looney Studios podcast.